Alrighty, welcome on in. Right here to our presentation, College Football Night. Welcome to College Football Night, right here. Uh, Indiana Ohio State was, of course, the biggest game of the day. That was in the early window on Fox. Now, next week's schedule still up in the air of what times games are, so we don't have that all finalized at this point. We're still waiting on a few games to be set in stone of where, when, and how these games will be played next week. But we do know a few things, and also we don't know a few things. But we'll get it figured out soon. Alrighty. But let's get back to today's games. Start in the early window. Clemson, Florida State was postponed at really the last second for that one. And, it was an interesting decision. And it is what it is with that. Coastal Carolina, big win over Appalachian State. LSU defeats Arkansas. Florida, of course, big win, 38-17 over Vanderbilt. A few other games are canceled. In the other session, Illinois over Nebraska. Alrighty, middle day. Guys, why am I forgetting the big Indiana Ohio State? It was an absolute classic. Um, Ohio State really struggled early, and then they eventually finished the first half very well. And everyone was looking like this game was going to be closed out, and then Indiana comes back and gets within a score, and they had the football. And of course, they couldn't finish the job off, couldn't send it to overtime, but good effort from Indiana. And you're not going to get the experience by just sitting on the sidelines. You got to actually get out there and play. They played. Not like they didn't look like a playoff team, but certainly they looked like a team that they can compete in potentially New Year's Six kind of scenario. So Ohio State winning, Florida winning, LSU winning, Coastal Carolina winning, and Illinois winning. All right, let's get to the midday. The headliner, we'll start with that one. Wisconsin Northwestern. It was on ABC. Wisconsin, really tough week. They beat Michigan. They looked really well. And then, a lot of turnovers today. A lot of mistakes. And it cost them the game. 7 points, that's not going to get it done. I really don't know what happened to their offense today. But great game for Northwestern defensively. Offensively, 17 still kind of low for where you need to be at in this day and age. But hey, it got it done. It was a 10-point win for Northwestern. UCLA, Oregon. Oregon, big win by 3 points. UCLA is not that good. UCLA is coming off of a short rest. They played on Sunday, and you only beat them at home by 3. Not a good enough win for Oregon. I know they they've got a long way to go. Cincinnati UCF, this was actually a good game. But Cincinnati coming out on top, 36-33. A big win for Cincinnati, you know. They're undefeated still. I really don't know how legitimate this team is because we didn't have the traditional non-conference games. But hey, they knock off UCF and they look really good today. San Diego State, Nevada. Nevada getting the win. I knew this was going to be a close game. Ends up being just that. Iowa, Penn State. I was really impressed with Iowa today, especially in the first half. That Iowa was able to convert drives into touchdowns. And their red zone efficiency today, uh, unbelievable. No turnovers in the red zone. And I think their first 4 red zone trips resulted in touchdowns. Unbelievable win for Iowa. And Penn State, just unacceptable how they've been playing. All right, Cal, Oregon State getting the win. I mean, I didn't watch that game. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys did, but I'm really surprised to see that Oregon State got a win. But anyway, let's move on. K-State, Iowa State. Iowa State 45-0. A dominant win for Iowa State. And it really proves anybody that doesn't believe in Iowa State wrong. Iowa State is a legitimate team. You know, they weren't really respected in the preseason. They're thought of as, I mean, they're good, but they're not that good. They've now, so they beat Oklahoma. They lost to Oklahoma State. They still have Texas left. I think they beat TCU. But the big obstacle to Texas this week. They're going to have Texas Black Friday. And it's a big game for them. Kentucky, Bama. We all saw it, Bama. 63-3 win. I mean, if you didn't see it coming, I don't know what you've been looking at. Tennessee, Auburn. Auburn gets done. Missouri and South Carolina. Missouri gets the win over South Carolina. Really bad year for South Carolina. I don't know what to say. Mississippi State taking on Georgia. Georgia 31-24. A lot closer than could have been. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. I mean, I told you Oklahoma's going to win, and they got it done. It's 41-13. So who has Oklahoma lost to? They lost to K-State, and they lost to Iowa State. Looking back at it, the K-State loss was a lot worse than that Iowa State loss. Michigan, Rutgers. That was an amazing game between Michigan and Rutgers. But Michigan does hold on to win it in triple overtime. And there should be question marks around this Michigan team. Arizona and Washington. Win for Washington or Arizona. And the rest of the games, I just don't have winners for you yet because as the time we're recording this, those games aren't over. Get your report on the current score, which I have USC up by 10, and I have Boise State up by 16 right now. which is what we had in the picks. So if we want an update on the picks for this week, I don't really have the overall right now. I'm up by 1. I mean, you kind of expect that, because I'm just 1 game better. And we both have the same picks, so things should be good enough for me. Alright, let's get to our 3 winners of the day. One of them has to be Iowa State. An unbelievable win for Iowa State. I mean, you don't see 45-0 really ever in conference play. I mean, this was just a dominant win. Iowa State at home, it's been really good after that loss to Louisiana in week 1. And, understandably so. Just like Iowa, is that they didn't start how they are playing right now. Another winner today, Northwestern. Got to give them a winner. A slot in the winner's circle. Northwestern. I mean, really the defense for Northwestern. You just shut down Wisconsin for so many turnovers today. And, I mean, what else could I say? But they're big winners. And we will be giving... I mean, I'm always stuck on this last one, but I'm going to give it to Oklahoma. And this is not just for this week, but this is for this stretch of weeks, is that they have kept on going. They didn't give up after losing to Iowa State. This is an Oklahoma team that's very capable of winning a Big 12 championship. When we look at that Big 12 standing, is that now they are in it. They are right back in it. So right now, Iowa State at 6-1 in conference play. They're a game up on Oklahoma at 5-2. Now, Texas and Oklahoma State play 1 fewer game than most of the other teams. But really, this race in the Big 12 is going to come down to Texas, Iowa State. I mean, it's really going to come down to this one game between Texas and Iowa State, who can get to the Big 12 championship. If Iowa State beats Texas, I think Iowa State's definitely in the Big 12 championship. There's no question about it. But if Texas beats Iowa State, then we have a run of the finish with all these other teams. So Oklahoma now has the tiebreak over Texas and Oklahoma State. And they get West Virginia this week. West Virginia's still in it, but much less so. K-State, after this game, I just don't see a way for K-State. So it's really Iowa State, Oklahoma, Texas, and Oklahoma State. And then, I mean, West Virginia, sort of. But they're going to need some help. If we look at the remaining games in the Big 12, Texas, of course, was supposed to play Kansas today. That game ended up getting postponed next week. The meaningful games, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, are the other 2 meaningful games. But, of course, Iowa State, Texas, Friday on ABC in the early slot. Winner of that game may go to that Big 12 championship. And if Iowa State loses, of course, Oklahoma State has a tiebreaker over Iowa State. So then they would fall into that, and they would drop into that range. But Texas, with a win, they would pass Iowa State. as well. All right, I need to stop rambling about this, but you guys know it that this has been a great season for college football. This has been a historic uh, run. College football keeps on going, and they should keep on going. There's no reason to stop. Uh, Congratulations to all our winners today. Again, my three winners: Iowa State, Northwestern, and Oklahoma. Two out of the Big 12 and one out of the Big 10. So we're gonna have college football on Friday and Saturday. 2 big days of college football this week. It's always a tradition on Thanksgiving weekend to have just a huge amount of football. And I'm going to tell you, the teams that I really hope that this weekend is not a big weekend for like virus spread, because that's really what happens every Thanksgiving, is that people gather a lot and people are, every Thanksgiving people are going to get sick. Just that's the nature of it. A lot of these teams are going to be just fine. Some of them, maybe not. Till next time,